2 Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Nawashai Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishop. Salutation to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And just want to say, man, this is your serious business. The Lord warned us that these things would happen, and if you have to understand that there's never been earthquakes like this, this many earthquakes in many different places around the world, ever in the history of mankind. At the same time, with their uproars of the people around the world, that has never happened before in the history of mankind, like it has so in these last recent years. So the uproars of the people are building up, and the earthquakes and disasters. All right, they're just like nonstop.
A major earthquake of magnitude 7.9 hit southern Turkey overnight Monday, leaving hundreds dead or injured. The powerful quake was felt in Cyprus, Lebanon, Syria, and throughout Israel. Buildings collapsed across Turkey and Syria as search and rescue workers raced to find survivors in the rubble. Turkish authorities declared a level 4 alarm calling for international assistance. The German Research Center for Geosciences said the quake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers or 6 miles, while Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Authority put the epicenter of the quake near Kahramanmaraş and the larger city of Gaziantep close to the Syrian border. And in other news,
so this earthquake was felt in Libya, in Syria, and in the land of Israel. So much for them dwelling in peace and safety alone. This is Isaiah 29, and not to mention they just got hit with a storm that that left, it seems like, a couple feet of water in a matter of minutes. All right, over there in certain parts of Israel. But this is Isaiah 29:6, and it reads, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storm and with tempest and with flame of devouring fire." All right, and those things are happening. All right, these storms are out of control. There's been so many floods, so many deaths from floods over the past decade, unlike ever before, and in recent years, in recent months. All right, let's play a little bit of this.
In Jericho, Israeli security forces have captured or killed the entire terror cell responsible for an attempted attack on a nearby restaurant. The IDF said that at least 5 terror cell responsible for an attempted attack in the city of Gaziantep close to the Syrian border. And in other news, in Jericho, Israeli security forces have captured or killed the entire terror cell responsible for an attempted attack on a nearby restaurant. The IDF said that at least 5 terrorists were killed when a special forces raided a building in the Aqabat Jabal refugee camp. The effort succeeded after a raid on Saturday morning failed to nab the suspects. During the raid, armed terrorists opened fire and they were shot and killed in the responding fire. There were no injuries to Israeli forces.
And it makes me wonder, you're getting a one-sided story there. They're going to show you a little bit of the storm there. But let me read this. This is Deuteronomy 33:28. And it reads, "Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land, and corn and wine. Also his heaven shall drop down dew," not storm and hail, not fire and brimstone. Let's take that story back. In other news, okay, when the prophecy said when the Israelites go back home, they would dwell in peace and safety alone. Well, clearly that's not happening, because in other news,
And in other news, in Jericho, Israeli security forces have captured or killed the entire terror cell responsible for an attempted attack on a nearby restaurant. The IDF said that at least 5 terrorists were killed when special forces raided a building in the Akabat Jabal refugee camp. The effort succeeded after a raid on Saturday morning failed to nab the suspects. During the raid, armed terrorists opened fire and they were shot and killed in the responding fire. There were no injuries to Israeli forces.
yeah, and it's possible that, and this is a very one-sided story. All right, and I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not going to say that it is, but I wouldn't doubt it that these people were not terrorists at all. They just were probably some sort of resistance against terrorism from being terrorized, and they just got shot down. And then they're saying that they returned fire and no one got, and no Israeli defense people got killed. It just sounds very one-sided, very controlled narrative as usual coming from the West. But this is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. And these are some of the biggest liars on the planet. So you really have to take everything that they say with a grain of salt. But this is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. And it reads, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. And these people, well, they've been found to be liars, man. They really are not trustworthy. All right. I mean, they even lie to their own people, So let's go back to that other video, the other one. And let's start this video again. Freaking commercial. God damn it.
The death toll.
It is a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Most High Power, man. It is a dreadful thing. You imagine being asleep or lying in your bed, sitting at your table eating, watching TV, lying with your woman, and the whole building comes down upon you and you just laying there waiting to die. That's a horrific death, man. There was even a scene of them running with a newborn baby. Someone gave birth in the rubble. And then all you breathing in is dust, toxic dust. Chemicals from paint and asbestos and, God knows what else, man.
Earthquakes that have devastated Turkey and Syria is continuing to rise, with thousands killed and thousands more injured. What Turkey's government says is the worst such disaster to hit that country.
And right now, as of this morning, the death toll was over 11,000. Over 11,000. And still counting. They're still finding bodies. All right? They're still finding bodies.
Death toll from the massive earthquakes that have devastated Turkey and Syria is continuing to rise, with thousands killed and thousands more injured. What Turkey's government says is the worst such disaster to hit that country in decades. And dozens of countries and international organizations are scrambling to rush in aid. Complicated
yeah, and
efforts,
they're calling on Allah. Allah is not saving you. You're calling on the wrong name. All right? Screaming for Allah. Allah is not. Allah Shadia is bringing this unto you, the Lord. That's one of the names that the Lord was known by. The name Yahweh was dreadful to the heathen. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me find it real quick. This is Malachi 1 and 14. But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto the Lord a corrupt thing, calling on the wrong name. All right. For I am a great king, said Yahweh of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. All right, so it's really gonna be dreadful as these last days, these last moments play out. All right.
Some areas, like this snow in Turkey, these children survived. So many others have not. This rescue worker in Turkey is desperately trying to find a buried survivor. He's yelling, "What color are you wearing? Are you wearing pink?"
And see, that's got to be the most horrific, claustrophobic, painful, crushing, horrible feeling, just laying there dying slowly, like being choked to death by a gigantic anaconda or python. Every breath you take, it squeezes you harder to where you can't breathe back in until you just suffocate. You know, the cuts and the bruises and the rats and bugs crawling on you. You're not even dead yet. It's got to be like I said, it's a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. All right. But let me go here. Let me play this real quick. This is on Instagram. So
collapses, then automatically the U.S. economy will crash. Remember, this is the international currency. There is going to be such massive financial loss in the United States in particular. White America losing most of its wealth. You can close your eyes and anticipate panic in the United States of America and riots in the United States of America. They might have to declare martial law.
They will.
In the United States. But more than that, the collapse of the US dollar, since this is the international currency, is going to create panic in the weak currency areas of the world. Indonesian rupiah, the Bangladeshi taka, the Pakistani rupee. There's going to be panic as people struggle and rush to dump their paper. If the US dollar collapses, then automatically the US economy will crash. Remember, this is the international currency. There is going to be such massive financial loss in the United States in particular. White America losing most of its wealth. You can close your eyes and anticipate panic in the United States of America and riots in the United States of America. They might have to declare martial law in the United States. But more than that, the collapse of the US dollar, since this is the international currency, is going to create panic in the weak currency areas of the world. Indonesian rupiah, the Bangladeshi taka.
So, like I said, in the weak places of the world, this is going to cause collapse there as well, and you're going to understand why it says in the nations hated the whore. All right, everyone's going to especially once you see the major players start to fall, like Australia and Spain, Italy, all these people that have been harmed by the policy of these Edomites, all right, which is really controlled by Amalek, all right, because the Amalek's headquarters is in Israel. The Amalekites have the land, claiming to be the people of the Lord. And so, matter of fact, let me go to Obadiah. Yeah, this is Obadiah 1, and it reads, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise and let us rise up against her in battle." See, so everyone's going to come up against the nation of Edom. All right? I mean, because Job 9 and 24, they're going to come up against each other as well. All right, but the power structure of the Edomite supremacy hails out of Israel and America. All right, those are the main players in this, and Amalek runs them both. Amalek also controls Britain. All right, but it says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen; thou art greatly despised." So people really greatly despised these Edomites at this point. If you generally talk to the average person of color, once you get them to loosen up, they start complaining about, the Edomites. And I was driving a Lyft, a couple years ago, and once you and I would get like like Ishmael and Elam, Ham and some of them Jakes from the Western, some Africa still has Israelites in it. All right, some of those Nigerians and Ghanans and people like that. And once they or even when I would take an Uber or Lyft, once they see that you're not all rah-rah pro-American and offended and they get comfortable, they'll start talking, man. And I'm just being honest. The majority of these people really dislike American policy, and they really despise so-called white people, and I'm going to say it because they see the rest of the world is seeing them as the problem. And here in the West, the so-called white man with his media tries to make Jake, the so-called black and brown man, especially the so-called black man, the bane of all the problems that are happening here. But they're not, because most of the problems that are happening here, the biggest problems here, are at such a high financial level that it had nothing to do with the so-called black or brown man. These are policies that they're doing that are failing, that are causing the debt to go up and wasting billions here and billions there, enforcing people to put sanctions on countries that they have no war or no quarrel with, hurting, but yet by putting sanctions on a particular country hurts their own economy, and that's what they force people to do. And as for doing things like that, they truly are greatly despised. And eventually they're all going to fire the arrows unto the whore. All right? Let me see if I think that's... I'm trying to find this last scripture. I think it's Isaiah. No, it's not Isaiah. Job. Nope, that's not it. All right, it is. Job 20 and 22. All right, so they're about to fulfill with this crash, like the video I just showed. The going digital is going to bring on this crash, and they're going to set up the C-HIP stations, and eventually everyone's going to be forced to get the MARK, which is going to give people all kind of sickness and the grievous sores that warns of for those who take it. But as soon as they get it going, this third world war is going to go full blown, and all the allies are going to turn. This is Job 20 and 22, and it reads, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked, all right, shall come upon
Liberty
him."
Mutual customizes your car insurance so you
God
only
damn
pay
it.
for what you need. With the money you saved, we tried
I
electric
hate Esau,
unicycles.
man.
I think I got it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm just going to read that
Once you
again,
meet
because
with a
that was not
TurboTax
supposed to
expert
happen.
who will do your taxes for.
All right. Let's read that again, Salakia. Job 20 and 22, it says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." And that wicked basically is talking about the people, the workers, the laborers. All those people. Everyone's going to be angry that that they trusted in Esau, Edom. They're going to be trusted that they believed and followed their policy. Like there's that image that I saw where you got the one guy standing there by himself in 20. Let me pull it up. So I know I got it in my phone. And I love this picture because, that was like the few people who held out against that wickedness, that madness, that blood clot, 19, the vaccinates, they brought on the blood clot 19. But this picture is perfect. All right. Because it said what it felt like in 2020. All right. Yes, you are all wrong, because that many people and more are dropping dead from heart attacks and myocarditis, from 5-year-olds up to, elderly people. And so, high schoolers, professional athletes, et cetera, et cetera. So what thing that they all have in common? They trusted in this man, in this lion-ass devil. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, Wa Abba Kwame Asherala Shalom.